Hi, welcome to this masterclass on unlocking your freedom. Today, I will present to you three shifts to create the life that you want. For those who don't know me, I'm Julia DeMauro. I've had my company since 2018, helping companies to develop internationally. And also, I've helped people and entrepreneurs to start their own business and build, yeah, what I think is a successful life. So today we are gonna speak about really three shifts that you need to make in order to create the life that you want, outside of the framework that the society gives us. So, we will make a short introduction, then we will discuss the current track, the new paradigm, the three shifts that you need to make. I'll also discuss a little bit about myself, like my story and where I am now, so that you can really understand that it is possible to design your life. It's not just, you know, those influencers you see on social media, but it's really first a shift in mindset, and then we'll take the actions that go with it. Then I will give you some free resources that you can check out for yourself. And there will be at the end a special gift if you stay until the end. So I would like to welcome you to this webinar, and please note that you're exactly where you need to be. I feel like there is not many people that would have the guts to sign up for this webinar and actually take action. I feel like many people like dream of the perfect life but still go 9 to 5 and are always feeling like they want to change their life but they're not taking any actions. And I think between dreaming about it and actually taking the first steps, there is like a whole world. So please feel welcome here, and I'm gonna do my best to show you what you can do to really trigger the life that you want. So in the next hour, we'll first of all why people feel stuck, especially into a 9 to 5 job. Why is it so stressful? Why do you feel like you're almost burning out? Then we'll talk about the three powerful mindset and strategies you can put in place in order to create a freedom that is not only financial but also a freedom of life. And finally, we will start talking about how to build income and build a security on the long term for yourself or for your family, and therefore have a peaceful life. I just want you to know that even if you don't have any money put aside or like a big budget, um, don't worry. Those steps are accessible to everyone. You also don't need to be extremely tech savvy because, you know, there are so many options available to you. So that's what we're gonna talk about. And you need to take action first from a place of mind more than a place of actual physical action. Okay. So why do you feel stuck? So unfortunately, we are wired since the beginning, since we started school, to become uh, someone who works for a company. So school has been put in place. Well, the school system of nowadays is still the one that was used back in the industrial era, where they needed people to work for companies in order to produce, and give a positive economy to the different countries. And we're still with the same system. So, really, in terms of education, we have not really evolved because, yeah, it's very difficult to change education. If people know what I'm talking about, it's extremely difficult to bring a new perspective, a new view of how education should be, whether it's for children or also at university stages. And really, also the culture is, you work 9 to 5, you earn a salary, you buy a house or a car, you pay your mortgage, and then you save for retirement. And once you get the retirement, that is your free life, freedom, yeah. And for example, like I'm witnessing it with my parents at the moment. For instance, they just retired like a couple of weeks ago, and they've had a mortgage for a house and the car, and right now they just left with the retirement money, and that's it. And they were looking forward to this moment for so long in their life, and now it's it. And I'm wondering, like, do we have to wait 65 years or more to get to this point? Can we not enjoy life since the beginning of it? So um a lot of people don't think independently, they don't think outside of the box, they don't think about how to invest even small amounts of money to build wealth. They don't think about designing their own life. You see a lot of influencers online traveling and being digital nomad, and we always think like that's not achievable for me. Well, actually it is. It's a mindset to have, and then you don't have to do exactly everything like others or like the ones that you see on social media, but you can put forward some ways to have passive income and really have a life that is not just based on your salary or your job. So what we need to create here is financial dependence that is not related to the time that you spend on working. And the idea is to avoid burnouts and feeling like you're never really free. So it is so important to work for your purpose. So that's also what we're gonna see, to tailor something, whether it's a business or a product or anything that will generate income passively, but that is truly aligned with you and what your beliefs are. So I'm gonna move my head just a second. Here we go. So, what's really freedom? So, I don't want to talk about only financial freedom. Yes, money helps you a lot to be free, but it's not the only thing. So, um, freedom also is not working for somebody else and working really for you. Um, Also, it means protecting your time, your energy, and your wealth. Um, and choosing to live where you want, in whether it's a country or like the house that you want, and really choose like where to go in life. Like for instance, for me, it was really a realization that I had when I had my baby. Like I was looking around and I was seeing all those people putting their baby to the creche or the nursery when they were 6 months old, and then carrying on their 9 to 5 life as if nothing happened. And I was shocked to see, like, people are actually having children but not seeing them, and somebody else is actually giving them the education that you should, or the nurturing that you should. Yeah. So for me, that was really like a big hit and in the face, and I really wanted to change that. So um, also, it's about creating boundaries and saying no without fear, and creating instead of constantly reacting. So it's not a fantasy, it's a formula, and that's what we're gonna see together. So I'm gonna speak a little bit about myself. Um, Stay tuned for the last part, which will be the little gift that I have for you. So if anybody knows me, I'm Julia DeMauro, and I was a trained architect. I studied for 7 years. And then once I started, working, I found out that this is not what I wanted to do, and that I didn't want to sit at a desk for the rest of my life waiting for retirement. So I started my own company in 2018. And since then, I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs start their own business. I also had a podcast called the IBD Hub, and it was discussing how to think outside of the box in the architecture and real estate world. I had a burnout after that because, yeah, my uh, income was very much related to every hours that I was spending, and even though I had a team, uh, all my hours were counted, and it made it extremely difficult for me to fulfill my purpose to help others. So today I have my online course, I have written a book, and I'm more financially free in terms of now that I have a baby, I can manage more my schedule the way that I want. I'm also able to travel as much as I want because I don't have a physical office where I need to be. Everything is online, and I can make sure to fulfill what I have to do when I need to do it. So I was very oppressed by the system. Even when I was studying, it was very hard for me to deal with the structure and the way that society worked. And now I'm really trying to help as many people as possible to also break free. So, what we want to achieve here is a new mindset. So, what we call the poor mindset is you get your paycheck, you spend it all, and once it's spent, everything is spent, you wait for the next month to get money again. The middle class mindset is to first of all pay the bills and pay the mortgage and everything, and then have a little bit put aside to spend for your children or for activities going out, etc., etc. But what we want to achieve is really the rich mindset. What does that mean? It means really independence. So even if you're working for somebody, in your mind, it should be like, okay, it's a job that I'm doing because I want to learn something from it that then I can use for my hustle, and to be the foundation of the business that I want to do. Okay. So, what we'll cover next is first the shift in mindset in terms of thinking like a creator and not a worker. So, even if you're currently working, to think about what are the problems that you've seen um, in your today's job and that you could solve, or even in your time off, is there a problem that you think that you should be the right person to solve it, and not just work for the sake of working, but actually work to learn. Once you learn, like, nothing is lost, actually. The second shift is once you decide what your purpose is and what problem you're trying to solve, like, we build together a product and then you sell many of those products so that your hours are not what you're paid for. We only have 24 hours in our day. But if your income is related to the time that you put in, there is so much income that you can have, except if like you charge, I don't know, $2,000 for 1 hour of consulting, for instance. So, and then the shift number three is really protect what you build and expand globally, and also, figure out how money works. Okay. So together we'll do this roadmap. So think like a wealth creator and not just a worker. So um, you don't need an extra side hustle, and you just need like a different strategy. So like I said before, a lot of people like are paid by the hour, and we're really trying to stop doing that because all the rich people on this planet don't charge per hour that they do. They either have like businesses that they grew and now they have a team that works for them and the business is running without them, or they have like investments in properties or investments in other startups, and this generates income. Okay, so the question is not make how can I make more money per hour, is how to use those hours in a good way to make money work for you. Um, and the question is really how to stop needing to work for every single dollar. So what we um, what you can do instead is really rewire your beliefs around money, the value and the effort behind money. So you don't need to work really hard. I think that's also something that society puts in our minds so much. Like you have to work extremely hard to make a lot of money. Well, let me tell you that really, really rich people do not work hard for the money. They just do it in a way that is strategic enough to get the income that they want. Also, it's important to define your number. What I mean by that, so let's take an example. If you are paid today $3,000 per month, and next to you there is somebody that does exactly the same job, that has exactly the same studies as you, but he's paid 4,000 per month. There is a reason. And the reason is most likely that they had a bigger goal of income than you had. And what I mean by that is that when they came to the interview, they already had in mind a higher number than you did. And therefore, they managed um, to ask for more, but also negotiate better. So it's about knowing your value, and truly aim for a number that you feel comfortable with. Now, I'm not talking here about a salary, that was just an example, but for instance, if you were to make a digital product that is like a online course, or even like uh, you're selling a book, for instance, or you're, um, something digital like that, you want to be able to say like, okay, my goal is to reach for 10K a month. What do I need to do? How many books do I need to sell to get to that? If the book is $10, for instance, that means that I would have to sell at least 1,000 books per month. Is that achievable or not? Is up to you to answer. So if it's less, you can start with less. So you can start with, for instance, the goal of 5K per month or 3Ks per month, and then upgrade every time you reach a milestone. So also it is about learning how money flows, and not just spend your money on um, everything that is, how can I say that? That doesn't have really a value. Like for instance, if you buy Zara or H&M clothing, um, you know that if you sell them again, or if they're ripped, it will not be worth anything. But if you buy some vintage clothing in a vintage shop, you can be sure that if you buy that for $20, you'll be able to sell it again for $20 or $30. Um, so it's really about shifting the mindset, and I think like using, for instance, like uh, application social media such as TikTok will induce you to consume, consume, consume because most of the content it's about new products, new clothing, new things, and you get hooked on it. So it's really about also thinking how to use your money best. And I think that the two things to focus on is invest in yourself in terms of your knowledge. So investing in a course or investing in a book or investing in something that gives you extra skills, or invest like saving money or investing it in something that you know that if you sell again, it will bring back the money or bring even more money to you. So it's really like a different mindset to have. And you will see that the money will become aligned to your action, and you're not just getting exhausted. Okay. So what do I mean by build once and sell many? So at the moment you work hourly probably at your job, or you start your business and you have one-to-one services like I used to do, like consulting. And that creates a burnout cycle because even if you're a consultant like me, back in the days, um, you put a lot of money, like a lot of time and effort to coach people or to consult. But even if you have a team, you can never be replaceable. And you also need to find clients, and so you enter into a loop where you cannot upscale your business anymore. So what can you do instead of doing this? It's all about, creating an offer and sell it over and over again. Share your skills or your knowledge or your message and scale it um, all over the network. Use content and automation to sell with integrity. So if I can give you some examples of products, it would be a digital course or a guide, coaching programs, affiliated partnerships, ethical products and services with clear funnels. So what do I mean by all of this? A digital course is like, for instance, a course with online where you teach multiple people, whether it's live or recorded, and you basically sell those courses to multiple people so that in within 1 hour you can um, teach at least like maybe 100 people at the time. Which means that you don't work one to one anymore, but you work for like 100 people for 1 hour. Same for guides. So if you create like a online an ebook or like a guide that you want to sell for like I don't know like $20, um, you spend only 1 hour making that guide, and then you can sell it to 100 people at the time. Same for coaching programs. Um, you can have coaching programs with like 200 people enrolled, and either they're recorded or they're face to face or they're online, up to you. But the idea is that 1 hour is not just for one job or one client, it's for multiple people. Same for affiliated partnerships. So what affiliated partnership means is that you can always say to another coach or another business, you sell my product and I give you 20% of everything that you sell. That way you don't put that much effort every time in finding new clients and selling your product every time, but you have someone that will get money from doing that, and that does it for you. Also creating ethical products and services with a clear funnel. What I mean is that if you're selling, for instance, like a perfume or I had a client who was doing ethical soaps. There is the brand, the time that you will spend for the branding and creating one product, then you can sell it over social media, and get at least like 100 or 1,000 sales per day. That means that the hours that you put into one product can be exponential, and everything works with good marketing funnels, and that's also something that eventually down the line, if you want to carry on with me, we will discuss. The shift number 3, and I think that it's one of the most important one, is to protect what you build and expand globally. So what do I mean by that? So freedom is not just about creating a business, or multiple incomes. Is actually, there are ways to avoid taxation or double taxation. So it means creating legal structures that work. I myself, for instance, created my companies in Hong Kong and Dubai. Why? Because I do not pay for business taxes over there. I only pay income taxes in the country where I live, which is Italy. So this way, it reduces the taxes, but also it protects my businesses as well. If I had the legal issues, for instance, it will be taken to a Hong Kong legal action, which is much softer than here where I am. So there's also different ways to acquire multiple residencies and passports. And that is important. Why? Because if there is a war tomorrow, or there is a need for you to leave the country where you're in now, or just you want to travel, there is ways that you can acquire multiple residency by paying a small fee, or even apply for a different nationality if you live in that country for at least 5 years. So those options are there. Why? Because I'm lucky enough that I have a European passport, so I don't need like visas to travel. But if tomorrow, like during the Corona times, like the borders are shut down, it will make it much more complicated for me to have the life that I want and be able to travel where I want. So the idea of having an Italian passport, but have a residence somewhere else, for instance, in Spain or in Portugal, or like even like further, like in the Caribbean or something, gives me a security that if there is a crisis here, I can leave. Okay. And then also that will create a peace of mind. So, and you're not location dependent. So in order to do that, so the first thing is creating a holding companies. A holding company is essentially a company that is above your own company. What that does is that if once you get paid for your online course, for instance, all the benefits, so all the money will go to the holding, and then in the holding they can be reinvested into real estate, for instance, which is a separate company. And what that does is that if one of your company gets bankrupt, or if you get a legal action of some sort, you don't lose your holding company, just the company itself gets attacked. So that means that all your assets that are in the holding or in other companies are protected. Also, To set offshore and online banking is also a way to limit the taxations and make sure that you're not too much bothered by the regulation of the country that you live in. Second residencies allow you to have cheaper income taxes, and also, the opportunity to live abroad. And also, you can create asset protection for all creators, parents, and entrepreneurs. So, for the ones that would be interested in carrying on this discussion and really make actionable steps, I've created an online course that really like help you to align with independent income. Not Helps you to rewire your mindset, not only about money but also about success. We also go through a whole module where I explain like how to find your purpose, how to turn it into a business that thrives, how to create the marketing funnels to sell your product, and also how to protect your assets, how to invest every time that you have a little money aside for things that will become big in the future, and also how to, be able to travel all over the world, even with kids. So, so what makes my course different than others? Well, actually, there is no filter. So I'm just really telling you the way it is, and yeah, I try to give you all the options that there are. Some people may want a digital product, some people want maybe a physical product, or even like a business that's completely out of the internet. That's also possible, so we explore all of that. And it's really designed for freedom seekers, parents, solopreneurs, and change makers. The goal is to have like a group of people that really believe in their purpose and that are extremely motivated. And you can go at your own pace for this course and explore what you prefer as well. So, what you will learn in it, the first module will be the fundamentals of finance. So, how to rewire your mindset, understand how money works, and create a stable income. Module two will be about earning an independent income. So, really find your purpose, how to generate income from it, and make it either a side hustle or 100% your hustle, up to you. Module three is about creating a protective structure. So, like the right way to have a foundation for your business and building assets and building investments that work. Module four will be unlocking investments for you. You don't need a huge amount put aside to start investing today. Um, So for today only, the 10 first people that subscribe to this online course will get it for 59 per month as opposed to 200 per month. You can stop the subscription whenever you like, but it will contain all the actionable steps that I will teach you to get financially free. And also, there is no upfront cost. All the bonuses will be there. And also you get the lifetime access to everything. Um, so if you want to start your journey now and actually make it work for yourself and for your family, subscribe now. Otherwise, there is no problem. And today, since you finished this webinar, I will email you the ebook with a more detailed step-to-step journey to change your life. So that's my free gift for you. And I hope you enjoyed this webinar. I really hope to see you soon and see you change your life. I'm always available on my LinkedIn if you want to drop me a message or if you have any questions. So thank you for attending, and I hope to see you soon.